Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video. This time with the SH Figuarts Avengers Endgame Captain America Final Battle Edition. This is the Japanese release that I'm reviewing. I know there will be a US release through Bluefin. For those of you that don't know, I just said it, so now you'll know. This is one of those things where if you had got the previous Captain America, this one will definitely set you over the edge with having that perfect blend of Captain Americas for the movies until I guess we get a Mafex one, which we're able to, compare it to. But right now, in terms of the best one out, the combination of this with the previous Endgame one will definitely give you the perfect cap, at least in my opinion. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump into the review. Here we are with the figure itself. As you can see, it is dirtied up. And if you can't tell, because you don't have the previous one, I'll do a side by side in a second. There is ash and soot and dirt around the costume and the body. The helmet is relatively the same, but it is a darker color. So if you definitely want to find a way to blend the two, you'll definitely need to be painting. For those of you that may not be able to see it well, actually get a light over here this way. You can see it's dirtied up. But I do like it. It looks really good, especially if you were aiming for that final battle look. Real quick, the first thing I'm going to do is compare it to its previous counterpart. And like I said, you can actually see the difference here with the suit. It is night and day in terms of comparison, completely different colors in many ways, but I do like the way it looks. I really did enjoy this cap and I'm happy that we got it. I think that it was very much needed, but the accessories that come with this one will definitely make this one, in my opinion, like I said, perfect. So yeah, let's put this guy away. Let's talk about articulation, which is the same as the previous one, but for those of you that haven't watched the video, I'm gonna do that. We can look up. Actually, you get a really nice look up. And that's with the helmet stuck into the collar. So you can move the helmet behind or over the collar, you get a little bit more. We can wiggle our neck around. We actually get a tilting side to side movement, and we can look down. Our arm articulation, we have a rotating outward. We can still rotate all the way around. There is an invisible bicep swivel and a butterfly joint, which allows it to move a little bit forward, but it's just not one of those things where you can move extremely forward. We have a double arm crunch. We have a double jointed arm. And as you can see, it can fold all the way in. As far as our upper torso goes, what we have here is we can move left, we can move right, we can move forward, and we can actually move further backwards than we can move forward. But with the help of the lower ab crunch, you actually can get a better bit of room. As you can see, it can rotate a lot better that way. So the combination of those two will give you a better ab crunch, but not something serious like you'll get with Marvel Legends. It's just not going to be possible. For our legs, we use the drop down method. As you can see, I'll pull them up very easily. We have a thigh swivel, right? Our leg can go forward. It is double jointed as well. We actually get some pretty good movement there. We actually get a little bit of an outward ankle pivot, get a little bit more of a forward pivot, which isn't really good to see, like you can't see it. And we can go forward and backwards, as well as a toe pivot, right? So now that we've covered all the articulation and we covered the basics of the look, let's go over what this cap comes with that makes him so special, right? It's a very warm day outside. I should have brought my fan in. Real quick, we're going to go over, I guess, some of the accessories. Actually, we'll go over all the accessories. I'm trying to figure out an order to do it, but let's jump straight into the exciting part. We actually get a head sculpt, an unmasked one, which we shouldn't got of with the previous cap. And while I think it looks like him, it does suffer from the golden hair syndrome and a lot of the plain Jane concept. Like a lot of his sculpt is lost in that smoothness of the face. While I think it does look like him, it's not really perfect. The golden hair thing, don't know what they're still thinking with that. It should be blonde, but not gold. But yeah. And as you can see, you can actually put this on either cap. So I'm gonna just test it out on this one, just to make sure wow, that one really popped off. So yeah, let's just try to take it off and see how it looks. There we go. And we're just gonna try to pop it on. And it does, it fits right on with no issues. You can actually exchange it at the neck, but I'm doing it here at the peg to make sure the pegs match. And if you just have them stand straight up, the pretty boy looks pretty. It actually is not a bad look. It actually looks very good on this. Is it a Manu Studio one? No, it's not. But for those that are pretty much not gonna get it right away, this is gonna be a problem. And my peg is stuck in there, but I'll get that out later. I'm not gonna worry about it now. We also get another head sculpt, and this is gonna be that grit face. I think the grit face actually looks good, but again, is it Man Nipple Studio quality? No, because I think they take the Hot Toys and just really do a good job of just either shrinking it down or just making sure that detail is not lost. But here we have something that is just as good and equally as good as SHF. And I think that if you can't buy third-party stuff, this is definitely a nice addition for you. Next up, we have the two shields. Shield design wise, here is a dirty one. This is what you'll get. This is a full shield. You still get the same placement parts as you get with any other shield. This one is just dirtied. When you look at it next to the previous shield of the SHF cap, you'll notice the differences in it almost right away. Then next up, you actually get the broken shield, which I didn't think they'd actually do. So I really think it was nice that they managed to do this. Really like the broken shield touch. On the end, you'll still see the parts for the broken pieces. If you have the Noda Studio one, you already kind of know what you're getting into. The Noda Studio one is actually very, very nice. I like that shield a lot, so I may be using that here with this one. Next up, we get hand accessories. So you'll get the open throwing hands or relaxed hands, depending on how you want to use them. You'll get your shield holding hands. These for when you plug into the shield. These are necessary staples that you always see. This time, you actually get hammer holding hands, and I'll get into that in a second. I was trying to save that for last. Then you actually get your definitive shield throwing hands, and these ones are going to come with a peg here that you're going to latch in to this piece right here. So you latch them in, and it holds it, and that is for when you are throwing your shield. You place this piece right under, sorry, wrong side. You place it under the smaller peg piece, and with that, I'm sorry, you place the hand over, sorry, slide it in. And now it looks like he's holding, throwing, or catching the shield in any instance. You'll get two of those as well. And when you have the shield in any sort of storage mode, these tabs here will be for the straps that you tab in. And then you have the active strap for the opening, for when you have it on your arms. You'll also get this back piece, and this is going to be for the back of your cap. When you take out this tiny peg in the back, this is for storing the shield on his back when you want to. Now we're going to jump into the hammer parts, which we're going to take a small break, but for you guys, it'll be a 1 second thing, just so you guys can see what's going on. Let's jump into that. All right, guys, now we're going to talk about the hammer parts, which I have right here. So, as you saw previously, we have hammer hands, and they give you what we call meow meow. Well, it's actually meow meow, but we already know that. So you get meow meow. Meow meow is still detachable in the case of you can release it like this from the previous store. But this time they actually added a bunch of bonus stuff, which is pretty cool. Just to show you that the hand can actually be held really well. It slides in very tightly, and I'll show you why it needs to be done tightly. It looks really good this way. Hopefully those pegs hold up over time. But on the top, what can happen is you can actually tab it out. If I actually had nails, I'd be able to tab it out a lot easier. You get a really cool lightning bolt to attach at the top of Meow Meow. And at the top of Meow Meow, you have this really cool effect, which, like I said, can be actually held pretty well in the hand. So we're gonna test out that theory right now in Cap. His arm, on the other hand, may not be able to hold, but the peg is actually pretty strong enough to hold him when you're shooting the lightning forward. So as you can see here, it's actually holding. Now after time, it depends on what's gonna happen, but it actually holds pretty well. And even if I move it up and extend it a little further, if I extend it a little further up, see, it can still hold, but it's bringing down the weight of that arm. So just be careful when you guys are doing that, right? Next up, you actually get two more effect parts that can actually attach at the side. I'm actually gonna drag my flathead screwdriver, wherever it is. And there's going to be tabs right under here that you can just flip up. You'll allow you to tab out. Make sure I'm trying to keep it in camera. So this will allow you to tab them out. You can do this on both sides, and the reason why that is because they are effect parts you can use on both sides. What you're going to do is you're going to match up the pinpoint of this tab. Let me see if I can get that focus there. It's going to be a tab point right up in the center. You're going to match that on each side of the hammer piece. So you actually can have it. This one will obviously go on this side. Again, got to match up those tab pieces. And mine may have a small issue tabbing in properly on one side. But overall, I think this is a very good look to be able to have this effect part. I wish we would have gotten it sooner and we would have gotten it for Thor. But again, if you've gotten all the previous Thors, you can just give it over to your Thor. You can actually have a good time with this. So keep this in mind, guys, when you are swapping around your parts and have a bunch of stuff. This is a really great addition. Like I said, this is the cap that's definitely proven that if you've bought everything up until this point, you actually have a good track record and a history, and this will allow you to pretty much enhance other figures as well. So have a great time. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to put all this stuff back on camera and talk to you as I pretty much actually do that later. Just don't have time, don't feel like it. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get into the size comparisons. I have a bunch of figures next to me. I figured why the hell not, instead of taking another break, right? And so let's get the Cap standing straight up. You already saw him next to his previous counterpart. First thing I want to do is get him nice and compared up with Bucky and Falcon. I consider these guys closer to Cap in the comics than they are in the movies, but Falcon is definitely a great addition to the mythos, especially that I just really like Sam Wilson. And as you can see, these guys actually look pretty good together. These guys would make a very good team. I wish we had got the Winter Soldier version of Bucky. I think that one is better. Hopefully that one will come along later. But we actually have a very good addition with these guys, especially showing that he's technically a taller guy, but Cap being, you know, super soldier, it shows, right? Next up, here he is with Tony Stark, the Iron Man. This is the final battle version as well. Next up, I'm going to show him with Mafex Thor, and then I'm going to show him with SHF Thor. So that way, if you want to compare Thors, you have a good comparison. I really think he fits in well with the SHF trio. And when moved over to the side, hopefully the cape doesn't make him fall on camera. Here we are with SHF Thor, which I think he also fits pretty well, but I really, really like the feel and the look of the Mafex Thor. I really like where that's going. So now you have a really good look. Next up, we're going to compare him to a bunch of other stuff. So let's get going with that. We have a Mafex Iron Spider. We have a SHF War Machine. We have an Infinity War Hulk, as well as a Thanos. Let's get a Thanos up. Now we can see these guys. I finally framed it in a way that we can fit all these guys on camera, right? So let's get these guys down. Actually could just move in the background, but you know. Here we are with a 6-inch Marvel Legends Spider-Man. And as you can see, Cap is actually a pretty decent height to fit in with some 6-inch Marvel Legends, just not the bigger characters. Here's an SHF Captain Marvel. Here's your homie Tree. Teen Tree, I should say. And we have Rabbit as well. Still have Rabbit posed up from that Thor shoot. Ooh. So here we go. Tiny. Let's move these guys out. Next up, we'll do Mafex Black Panther, which I think these are a pretty good size comparison. We have a 1000 Toys Synthetic Human. We have an Articulated Icons Ninja. And we have an SH Figuarts Kamen Rider 01. No Kuge here today for you guys, I apologize. Let me move this sticky tack. So yeah, Cap is a decent height. He fits in with most other import stuff. He fits in pretty well. Doesn't look too bad next to Legends. I think if you've gotten the previous Endgame Cap, you definitely know that you're getting the right thing here. I think you'll have a good time. Last but not least though, because I did forget 2 other ones, I'm gonna add them in right now, just in case you want to mix and match with Mythic Legions. And for those of you that didn't ask where those straps are from, I got them from Kai Lab. Thank you to Kai Lab. I appreciate you. Thank you for the gift. I do appreciate it. We have a Lightning Collection Red Ranger and a Mezco Me, also with a strap made by Kai Lab. Cap is small, but he's not too small. And he definitely has better proportions than previous caps. All in all, I think it's a great centerpiece for adding to your SHF collection. It's a great centerpiece for your Avengers collection in general. But I know a lot of people are going to be waiting for the Mafex one, and we just don't know because it's so far off. So again, you got to pick and choose your battles, you guys, everybody. As always, guys, please continue to enjoy. Hope you stay informed, and please stay safe. As always, please be good, do good, drink your water. Later.